Welcome back, this is Cerealsnax, and today we are playing Pillars of Eternity, which actually just unlocked today for me. I was a backer of this game, gosh, almost 2.5 years ago when it was on Kickstarter, and it's finally been released. I know there's more popular YouTubers out there that have Let's Plays already from a few days ago, but this is the first time the rest of us masses get a hold of the game, and I am really excited. I'm going to actually click new game, and there's going to be there's like a little intro. I jumped into it just briefly, but I have a lot to talk about with this game. More about Baldur's Gate, I think, than anything else, because that was one of the first big games that I played when I was in college, actually, which kind of dates me a little bit, but it was really, really epic, even though it had a style that was sort of retro, which this does too. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think they've done some amazing things, this company. So let's click new game. And we have some options here. You could do easy, normal, hard. Path of the Damned is like hardcore mode, right? It's like crazy hard. And then you can also do this. Actually, expert mode is probably more like hardcore, because when you it disables a lot of stuff. And then Trial of Iron is almost like one kill and you're out of the game kind of thing. I'm not even going to risk that because I just want to play the game and enjoy it. I'm actually going to do normal just because that's probably better for a YouTube Let's Play. And we're going to see how far we get in the game. You know, I've played games like Morrowind and Oblivion on my channel and haven't gotten through them. I want to see how far I can get. This is a huge game, so I mean, I'm talking like hundreds of episodes, I would think, based on the hours probably it takes to play through it. But we're going to play as much as we can. So let's get started. So yeah, so this isn't the movie. This is just kind of the title screen, but I'm already excited about this. First time I loaded up Baldur's Gate, I must have made like 20 characters before I was really pleased with the character that I made. And even then, I think I kind of was like, ooh, I could have made a mage, you know, or I could have made whatever. So anyway, there's a little talking scene here. We'll watch that, and then we'll get to character creation.
Groped blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern, his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Okay, so character creation, and in Baldur's Gate it was a little bit more simplistic, I believe, than this is going to be, but the storyline behind these are really cool. We're going to go with a male. Now, it does talk about the differences here. It says, the place of men in society varies from culture to culture. Cultures like Aedir, I guess, yeah, and the Direwood place. Oh, Direwood. And look, it's even got information. A colonial nation founded by the settlers from the Aedir Empire. Following a series of conflicts with the Aedir, the territory became independent in 2672 AI and is now ruled by a duck, who is elected by 7 earls that oversee its earldoms. Okay, wow. Alright. So anyway, so this talks about what the role of men and women is in society. So it's more or less, it's basically saying that they're relatively equal. So we're going to pick a male character. Now typically I don't pick a human when I play these games, simply because I feel like it's a little bit boring. I'm a human in real life, right? So, you know, it's just kind of standard. Some people find it to be easier to roleplay a human, kind of get in the character. Anyway, it says commonly called folk, the most common race in the Direwood, Old Valley and the Valley and Republic, so they're not as large as the Amawa. Humans are known for their strength and willpower. Okay, so that's kind of standard. This is cool because what Obsidian's actually doing is creating their own races. So you got the Amua and the Orlan and the Godlike, which have not been seen in other games. So they kind of broke the mold a little bit and decided, you know what, we're going to make our own kind of game. They're not doing like a D&D type thing, although they still have dwarves and elves, right? And the 3 kind of standards. So these guys are more of the aquatic right? They have an affinity for water based on naval dominance, known for their unparalleled strength. So these are the strong guys. I'm a real fan of dwarves. I would love to do a dwarf potentially at some point in time, but my goal, and of course elves are always interesting. But we've got the Orlan. So let's just look at the dwarf really quick. So it's pretty standard. Dwarves are the most well-traveled race, blah, 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 commonly found, known for their great strength and tenacity. So not as much of an underground dwarf, more of an above-ground dwarf, it sounds like. And then the elf are the dominant race in the ear Glanfath, and the white that winds that are currently common in Direwood and Ear. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, so pretty standard for an elf. I'm really a fan of the Orlan. They're the smallest of the kith, although many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Notable for their large ears, two-tone skin, and hirsute bodies. Commonly found in Ear Glanfath, blah, blah, blah. They're known for their mental intensity and quickness. So I'm going to do something interesting, because one thing I read about this game is that they aren't... It's not as min-maxy as some games. Like Obsidian has tried to make it really hard to pick like a min-max class. I'm sure it's possible, but... we're going to do crazy stuff with the stats and see how it works out for us. So the godlike are these really interesting demonic type characters that really, the way it reads is it says they take many forms. They have physical aspects associated with the god. These aspects may take many forms, often come with mystical powers, aberrant head shapes, and unable to wear protective headgear. It's near impossible finding that fits. Godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. So these guys are kind of like the outcast, weirdos, right? That everybody's kind of freaked out by. Really cool, very interesting, but I'm not going to go that crazy. I'm going to go with an Orlan, so we're going to do that. I like these guys. I also like their story, their background. So you have the Hearth Orlan or the Wild Orlan. And the Hearth Orlan are like, a lot of them are ex-slaves. So it's very interesting because it's kind of like a Hobbit, right? They have a real kind of weak start. They're coming from nothing, and they can only go upward in society, right? And then the Wild, these guys are kind of like the ones that are living in the forest, and so they got all kinds of stuff about them. But I'm not as interested in them. I'm gonna go with the Hearth, and so this comes to the min-max stuff. So here are all the classes that you can be: Barbarian, Cipher, Fighter, Paladin, Ranger, Wizard, Chanter. So a lot of these are pretty standard, right? Druid, Monk, Priest, and Rogue. The Cipher is really interesting to me. The best way I could describe a Cipher is that they're basically like a psychic vampire. Their whole point is to like rip other people's souls and suck upon the soul and all that sort of stuff. So they use the other people's essence as their power. So they can target allies with powerful soul-focused effects. Very interesting. The other one that's kind of different from normal fantasy is the Chanter, which they use like these ancient words to do power, right? All chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects to help build the chanter's power. So another pretty interesting kind of class. So of course you get the standards. You get the Barbarian, the Cipher, Fighter, which is kind of another. So the Barbarian's kind of a form of a fighter. You get the Paladins, the Rangers, right, which I would assume have a pet, the animal companion. Of course, a standard Wizard, Chanter, Druid, like a Monk, which is like kind of a not weapon using, kind of like D&D Monk, I think. And then a Priest, of course, for healing kind of guy. And then a Rogue. So I'm kind of torn between the Rogue and the Barbarian. I feel like the Rogue is a little more cliche for the Orlan, just because they're the small, stealthy class. So what I'm going to do is do something really odd, and I'm going to actually pick a Barbarian, because brutes, madmen, berserkers. So this guy is kind of going to be a crazy little barbarian. And so here's some of the things about it, right? Athletics, +2, survival +1. So there's a lot of information about each of these that we can read through at some point in time. They have a religious role, some places, undisciplined, fearless style. So he's kind of just a crazy fighter, right? Crazy little fighter. I love it. So we can choose between 2 barbarian abilities. The Frenzy, which grants might, constitution, and attack speed, but causing a deflection penalty. His or her concealed, 1 per encounter. I like that more than the Yell, but let me read the Yell. So they get frightened. You know what? I think actually originally I was going to go with the Frenzy because it goes into like a frenzied state. But I actually like the Yell. I like the idea of this little guy yelling and kind of scaring everybody away. So let's Let's do that, and that may become actually really useful because it's frightened for 12 seconds. Resolve and dexterity reduced by 2, and accuracy is reduced by 10. That might be really helpful, especially since he's kind of little. It keeps them from really hitting us very well. So we'll do that. Barbarian with a Barbaric Yell, and passive. The Barbarian's attacks become so forceful as to impact others around the target enemy. For every successful melee attack, the Barbarian makes a reduced damage attacks at all their enemies within short distance of a target. Okay, that seems awesome. So let's see. These two are highly recommended for Barbarian. However, so we get 15 points. So we're gonna do some might because I think it's relatively low for an Orlan. So we're gonna bump that up. Let's just do 4, and then we're gonna bump up Constitution because they think that's important. 4. Now we've already got a relatively high. What's not recommended? Oh. See, now maybe I'm not going off course. I really want to do a smart barbarian because he's kind of a rebel. And the only reason he's a barbarian is because he just hasn't been brought up in normal society, right? So, intellect represents a character's logic and reasoning capabilities, and interactions can be useful to deduction, sudden realizations, and problem solving. It contributes to the will, defense, and influence. So we're going to put 4 into that. That maybe should be a lot. This is... So his perception's already pretty high. Resolve is his internal drive. Leadership, we're going to do that too because he's kind of like a crazy guy. So I'm not totally going into barbarian like mode. So I'm not min-maxing at all. I'm doing it more for the role playing. He's more of a little tiny spirited rebel leader. Okay, so now we can pick where he's from. So this is kind of the big empire. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he would come from there. Nation has dozens of Amua, pirate-infested islands. The last stop for anyone headed east. Monsters, sea monsters. Doesn't seem like him as much. The culture is the oldest, one of the least imperialistic. No. Crumbled remnants of warring merchant nations. The old valiant yet still forces proud of their rich. Nope. No. Living lands. Its weather's unpredictable. The living lands are home to assortment of races and a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And the white that wins. Small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. I like this. I like this location. It gives perception +1, which isn't really what we need. But I like that it's kind of a bunch of outcasts and adventurers. So we're going to do that. So the story of this guy, the way I see it, he's an ex-slave. And now... is he an explorer? Or a laborer? No. You can pick slave on one of the other ones. You never quite fit in wherever you go. You are more comfortable on the road, traveling the world. Explorer, laborer. No, I like drifter. We're gonna do that. It kind of fits his role. Never really figures it out. Let's make some primary colors red. Let's make the secondary color dark blue. Why not? We're going to make his skin maybe a little lighter. There we go. And let's see, what kind of facial hair do we have? I kind of like... Ooh, yeah. Kind of like that beard. We can do kind of the more fuzzy one. Let's pick a hairstyle that fits this guy. Ooh, I'm kind of tempted to just go without hair, period. Let's see here. Let's see. Ooh, I kind of like that. I like that. That's tough, right? Okay. We're going to go with this. The white that wins, drifter, Hearth Orlan, male. Very cool. Now we can pick a picture. Now, one thing I have found out is there's a lot of portraits, and they're pretty cool. None of them really look like this guy, right? So we're going to have to scroll through. Maybe there's one with a helmet that works. I think that might be... That's actually an Orlan, I think. Just without the beard. I could just take his... Let's just say this... I could take his beard off. I wonder if that would be a way to go. I don't really want to do that, though. Let's keep looking through them. So that's the one hard part, is matching your character to the portrait, which I'd like to do, but... We could always do that. That's not really him, though. I'm hoping to get some armor like that. I'm not sure if they can actually wear plate. Let's go through it again. I'm gonna actually pick this one because that looks. Oops. Yeah, there it is. That looks the most like him, actually. Although I think that might be supposed. I can't tell if that's supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be the other race. Okay, let's just look. We're gonna do this one. Maybe we'll get armor like this at some point in time. I don't know. That's alright though. I'm okay with that. So now we gotta pick a voice, and I've listened to the voices already. I like that one. Let's see.
I've got this.
I've got this.
My eyes are peeled.
My eyes are peeled. Yeah, that's cool. That fits him. Okay, cool. Inner name. This guy's name is gonna be Snax. Let's get going. So, yeah, so a lot like Baldur's Gate. Now, before I start the game, I just want to say, like I said, I had a hard time picking a character in Baldur's Gate. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'm pretty excited about this guy. He just seems to work for Cerealsnax, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, I'm expecting there to be some kind of intro stuff, so I may not be talking for a minute, but I will be back as soon as this intro is over, if there is one. Let's just see. Journey to the Gilded Vale. Ooh. I love it. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis. Caravan Master Odema.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods back toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, of course. Which case you'll be dead in a day.
Okay, wow. Alright, so, got a case of the runs?
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in your direction. Sparfle nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Okay, so now I've got some questions. Alright, let's see. Where would I find these berries? What are these ruins? Is it dangerous? What are these huge rocks coming out from the ground? Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Cool. What are these ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Okay, and it says that I'll get some options based on all the stuff I've set up with my character. Okay, who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
That's a good point. Is it dangerous?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
There's concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do they get?
This time of year? Rain, mostly. And wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here, time to time. Locals call it a beawick. Born out of the ether. The spirit's path. Never seen it myself. Never care to. They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories.
Interesting.
It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
Huh.
The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without a blanket or a pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
Wow, okay.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Heh.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
All right.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
All right, Kalisha. If this is your first visit to the world of RAWR, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Select a party members. Click and hold. So it's pretty standard. Click anywhere on the screen where your cursor is a circle of 4 wedges.
Got it.
Okay, that makes sense. When multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden. To see an individual character's option, select only that character. Ah, okay. Barbaric Yell, yep. Okay. So let's see. So we've got Snax. Meh. Eh?
What you need?
What you need? Okay. And then we've got all these options. So let's take a look at our inventory really quick. So here's our party. Here's Kaliska. We're gonna make her more of a green color, just to kind of differentiate us. And then we've got Snax. What do I have here? Giant miniature space piglet. I think some of these are pre-order stuff. What is this? The cloak of the Obsidian Order. The Obsidian Order is shrouded in mystery, and even the hand occult having few clues about their origin. Some scholars speculate that the Order's members are a diverse group from all over RAWR, brought together by their love of exploration, fierce battle, and wondrous stories. So I'm not sure if that's a backer thing from Kickstarter. We'll wear it. Pretty snazzy. It's got the little emblem for the game. I like it. And then we've got Gon's Pledge, which is a ring. Shield the wearer from myriad of perils. Okay. So we'll put that on our wrist. And then we have the giant miniature space piglet. So if you played the original Baldur's Gate, you remember the giant miniature space hamster, Boo, who was the pet of, well, I don't even know if you call it a pet, of Minx, who was a awesome character in Baldur's Gate. So hopefully there's characters like that in this too. But we got a tiny titanic pig. Oh, it follows you dutifully and requires nothing in return save friendship. Okay, we'll put him in the little pet slot. I don't know what he does really, but that's cool. So we got all of our stats. Ooh, we have a craft. There's a lot to do, it looks like. Crafting. All about myself. Some stats. This is amazing. A map. Do not own a stronghold yet. That's awesome. A journal with our quests. Encyclopedia of stuff. This is incredible. All right. What I'm going to do is I am going to end the episode here. Oh, look, there's my miniature space piglet. I'm going to end the episode here, and next episode we will start our adventuring. We'll go talk to the shopkeeper guy, and I think he's around here somewhere. They said to talk to him. And then we will go find our springberries. Maybe that's him. All right. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click like. It really helps me out. And I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.